The Quran gives us وَمَا أَصَابَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْتَقَى الْجَمَعَانِ فَبِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. Whatever conflicts, whatever combat we are confronted with in life, it's what the laws governing the environment and governing our life allow. And this is to really test us. Are we really people of Iman? Or are we people of Kufr? Or people of Nifaq? Or people of Shirk? Or people of Tughyan? Then the Quran follows up in the next verse, وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا. Life, whether you realize it or not, or I realize it or not, the reality is our honesty, our integrity, our sincerity, our truthfulness, our commitment to higher values will always stand out. I don't have to go and try to expose you, and you don't have to become a spy and try to expose me. The life that I live will speak a picture on the wall. Because constantly the divine system that governs our world is putting us to the test. So when the concept says وَلِيَعْلَمَ الَّذِينَ نَافَقُوا, it means situations in our life test us to see if we are really people of nifaq. Now, you hear the common translation or you read the common translation that nifaq is hypocrisy. And you are told that hypocrites are munafiqun or munafiqeen or munafiqat. But there is something I'm going to share with you today that you're going to remember for life. That's the wisdom of nifaq. Nafaqa means exhausted, spent out. Everything has been squandered. All the resources gone. So what else remains? Just words. You understand? So a nifaq means a baseless commitment. It's a commitment, it's a token that has nothing to back it up. Because why? We have either exhausted it, we have squandered it, we have spent it elsewhere, or we have already allocated it to different dimensions. So you need to understand what is nifaq. It's not a hypocrite and that you just throw it down. And you can say, oh, you're not a hypocrite or I'm not a hypocrite. If we make commitment to the divine system, where is our contribution? Hear that? If you and I make commitment to the divine system, where is our contribution? Our physical contribution, our mental contribution, our moral contribution, our economic contribution, our skills, where is it? If you study the Arabic language, you will learn essence that will remove this cloudiness of having words that you don't fully understand. Now that you and I understand this, it means when we give commitment to something and all we give is words, it's either we have reached that stage in our life where we are bankrupt, or we have already invested and expended our resources in other directions. So the Quran says, you and I are being tested every day. Are we really honest? Are we really truthful? It's not my job to come and prove you. And it's not your job to prove me. My life will prove myself. And your life will prove you. And don't fool around with this. That's the reality that I can change and you can change. Unless we want to change it. Like I told you last week, that the Qur'an told us, إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ, that the people of Nifaq, they have the worst status in terms of being consumed with destruction. Except those people, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا, except those who take evasive action, turn away from their lifestyle and now turn to divine life. So there's hope for me and you. But there's no hope if we continue in the same lines. No matter what, I'm going to be how I was. That individual is sick, really sick. And that individual really needs help. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ تَابُوا وَأَصْلَحُوا. I cannot only make my mind and be sincere that I am going to turn away from the lifestyle I had before, but I have to do certain things for myself. I have to repair my own damage. Islah al-mujtama' means rectifying the society, reforming the society, overhauling the society. So you and I, anytime we want to turn away from the lifestyle we were accustomed to, we have things to do. It's not mouth. This deen of Allah is not about mouth. Because right now I'll be stronger than all of you because you're quiet. And if all of us shout, then we are louder than anybody else. It's not about mouth. It's about evidence. If I want to turn away from my cultural life, my traditional life, my popular life, and turn to divine loftiness, I have to do something. I have to invest in myself that I can overhaul my decadence. I can overhaul my ignorance. I can overhaul my stubbornness. I can overhaul my life of excuses. I have to change the areas that I'm being influenced and the people who influence me. I have to take responsibility and a positive action for my life. وَاعْتَصَمُوا بِاللَّهِ. And I have to hold on. How do you hold on to Allah? وَاعْتَصَمُوا بِاللَّهِ. Allah is not a rock. Allah is not a tree. Allah is not a piece of wood. You and I have to pursue divine loftiness and make sure we have a glue in us that we don't separate. So you see, this is hard work. This is not the cheap kind of cultural religion where year after year people do the same thing, but they're expecting this cheap God to give them tons and tons of reward. The Qur'an thus commands us, it says, وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ. The test that you and I are tested every day, this, I don't know if you hear these words, but the divine system is sounding these words to you and to me. Let me repeat them for my benefit and yours. And this is the mandate that you and I are charged with. وَقِيلَ لَهُمْ تَعَالَوْا. Come on, wake up. Become alive. قَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. See this? قَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. The typical translation has it, and fight in the path of God. That's why you find Muslims all over the world, they're fighting. If they're not fighting somebody else, they're fighting one another. Because all they know in their life, that qital means to fight. God help these people. Qital really means qatala bil Arabiya. Those of you who have English, Arabic dictionaries at home, I'm going to give you something. You can go back and look at it. The most barbaric definition is to kill. But qatala really means to dominate. Hear that? Qatala means to dominate, to prevail, to master. You normally don't hear that. You hear killing and fighting. That's why you see two things happening. Lots of fighting in the world and lots of killing. And unfortunately, many of the people who are talking about God are fighting and killing. right? And as I told you, they get from